where residents of Makhanda say their water situation has moved from bad to worse. That town has been battling with reliable water supply for quite some time now due to the sustained drought there. But residents say there are other issues at play to this water crisis. For perspective, let's bring in Newzroom Afrika's Malungelo Booi, who's in Makhanda for us this morning. And Malu, you know, on days, hot summer days like this, the issue of reliable water supply become a whole lot more important than they are perhaps on any other day.
That's right. In fact, we're told here it's going to be 32 degrees here in Makhanda. Here's what you see when you enter the town of Makhanda, Ayanda. There's a big sign that says that you're entering a water-scarce area, and when you drive around a town, you can see people carrying buckets of water, and that in a way then tells you that this town is actually facing a water crisis. Well, I don't stay here. I'm going to speak to somebody who lives here and who understands the water situation here, and that person is Philip Mechanic. He's the chairperson of the Makhanda Residents Association. So thank you so much for your time. When you're driving around here, it's clear that there is a water crisis here. Why has it gone from bad to worse? And when did it go from bad to worse?
Well, the problems really started late 2018 when, on the back of an extended drought, the dam feeding the west side of town was emptying fast. And we became aware that a project to do a major upgrade on the other side of town, where the water supply comes from the Orange Fish scheme, had run into trouble. And that upgrade was meant to double the capacity of that plant, and that project failed and had to restart from scratch. So as we got into 2019, Rhodes University was in a situation where they might have had to send their students home if things had got any worse. And Department of Water and Sanitation promised to fast-track the upgrade of the plant that gets Orange River water, the James Clenons plant. But since then, somebody has reneged on that promise, and rather than fast-tracking, it's gone slow. And a big turning point, I believe, was in, I think it was April 2019, the then CEO of Amatola Water, who the implementing agency, was forced out of office amid allegations of all kinds of wrongdoing, but she seemed to be the one who's effectively getting things moving.
Philip, how are people surviving? How are your members surviving?
Well, it's very tough out there. I'm in a fortunate situation that I have rain tanks for my house, so I know what other people are going through by talking to them. I've just had, for instance, my wife is on a project called River Rescue, where they do cleanups of the rivers and streams around town. She's just come home with a friend who's on that project, so a friend could have a shower because there's no water in her home. And it's pretty much out through all of town. You go out and have a look at the spring outside town. On a good day, you might wait 5 or 10 minutes to get water there. So, during a real crisis time, people can queue up there for 4 hours or more.
Do you get a sense, though, Philip, that there is a political will to help mitigate the situation?
No, I don't, because of this issue of the fast-tracking of this water plant. You know, forcing the CEO out of office, you know, I don't know whether there's any substance to his claims of wrongdoing, but they don't seem to have gone anywhere. And then the fast-tracking of this upgrade is not happening. And this is in the middle of a pandemic as well, where water is even more important because of the hygiene issues. And, you know, so we are trying to get a handle on how we can actually get accountability for this, and where the problems actually lie, who's been stymieing the progress on this project. And, you know, as a small organization without deep pockets, you know, we can't afford to hire a team, an army of lawyers, so we're looking for creative ways to try to find out what's going on.
I also understand, though, that the Makhanda municipality had promised that there will be water today. Has that happened? What are they saying?
Well, we're trying to find out. You know, one of the problems is that the communication team is not very strong. So when a crisis occurs, the managers go there to handle the crisis, and no one tells us what's going on. And, you know, we've been arguing for a long time that what should happen in a crisis is the communication team should go there so they can observe what is happening and start telling us without having to wait for the managers to get their hands out of the crisis and be able to start typing on their phones.
Is the water rationing still happening?
In theory, yes, but in practice, because meter reading has completely ceased, there's absolutely no way to enforce it. So the municipality claims, for instance, there's some people who have JoJo tanks who fill them up from a municipal supplier, and as soon as they hear a report that there may be a shortage of water, they make it worse by filling their tanks. But there's no way we can actually verify this without active meter reading.
All right, Philip Mechanic, and he's from the Makhanda Residents Association, essentially painting really the picture of the current situation regarding water here in town. And I can tell you this, it's also impacting businesses here. Later on, we'll be interacting with some of the local businesses about how the water situation here in Makhanda is affecting them.
Senior reporter Malungelo Booi live to us there from Makhanda in the Eastern Cape. Malu, thanks very much indeed.